This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Thursday, the new Friday, October 2nd. And today's pod is the best one yet. This is a T-Boy.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
Yeti's government shutdown, day 2. The saga continues.
Wall Street seems to be shrugging the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Stocks just hit another record high yesterday.
So besties, Jack and I will keep an eye on the shutdown updates and the stock market record highs. But in the meantime, Jack, 3 fantastic stories for today's pod.
For our first story, the hottest food and beverage trend in America is dirty soda.
Dirty.
It's soda with cream and a splash of syrup.
But that dirty soda trend was invented by Swig in Utah, and it can all be explained by high school physics.
For our second story, details just leaked on David Beckham's $500 million business empire.
So we dove in T-Boy style, and David Beckham, he now has more cash flow than he has hair flow.
And our third and final story is McKinsey. The king of consulting has a special talent. It is a pipeline for corporate CEOs.
So we'll tell you the McKinsey secret sauce to CEO success.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories.
Oh, what a mix for the new Friday. No one else is doing that mix, Jack.
Speaking of CEOs, Nick, the coolest position on Wall Street right now?
It's co-CEOs.
Who wants to be a solo CEO these days?
I mean, when you're solo as the CEO, Jack, everything gets blamed on you.
So the suits are finally going the way of tag team wrestlers and doubles tennis players.
CEOs are sharing the burden. They're going halvesies as co-CEOs.
This week, Spotify's founder, Daniel Ek, said that he is stepping down as CEO of the company.
His replacement, 2 co-CEOs.
Last week, Oracle made a similar announcement.
Also 2 new co-CEOs.
Netflix, they've been run by a couple of CE bros for the last half decade, Nick.
Those 2 dudes, yeah, they're the ones who greenlit season 5 of Stranger Things.
Although, full disclosure, Nick and Jack of this podcast,
yeah, Jack?
we're co-hosts and co-CEOs.
Co-fo show CEOs.
But to sprinkle on some context, according to the Wall Street Journal, co-CEOs are not common and they're not well liked either.
Yeah, it turns out only 1% of public companies even do it, and they only last half as long as regular solo CEOs do.
But financially, co-CEOs are a profit puppy powerhouse. Push that cha-ching button, Nick.
Companies led by co-CEOs did 35% better than the rest of the stock market.
Co-CEOs are basically the Olsen Twins of corporate America.
Because they come in pairs and they are super trendy right now.
Speaking of which, the Olsen Twins, they own a fashion brand together.
And what about it, Jack?
They're co-CEOs. Dibs on Mary Kate. You're the other one. I'm blanking on her name right now.
It's Ashley. If you know, you know, and apparently you don't. Jack, let's hit our 3 stories.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in a dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at-list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, dirty soda. It's jumped from Utah's secret treat to a national trend worth billions.
Why is dirty soda and the company behind it surging?
Why, Jack?
It's thanks to physics and a law from Sir Isaac Newton.
Now, Yetis, to sprinkle on some stereotypical business judgments right now, Chicago does logistics, Miami does leisure, and Salt Lake City does treats.
In Utah, you always ask for the dessert menu. And you're not just going to take a look. You're ordering something.
I mean, Jack, in Utah, it is socially acceptable to gift someone a donut. It is the capital of cavities, my friend.
We double-checked this stat. In Utah, the average person there buys twice as much candy as the rest of America.
Oh, you enjoying the 50 grams of sugar in that crumble cookie? Well, Crumble Cookies is worth $2 billion, and they're based in Utah.
And there's a cultural explanation for it. Mormonism. They tend to abstain from alcohol and coffee, so sweets are an acceptable treat.
So if you watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, then you would know about the latest sweet truth trend in the Mormon community, dirty soda.
What is dirty soda?
What is it,
It's
Jack?
soda with cream added to it and some flavored syrup too.
Yeah, if you enjoyed vanilla Coke as a kid, this is like the OG of dirty soda today, right?
But in 2010, one Utah soda shop Yes, soda shops are a thing in Utah, by the way. They coined the term dirty soda.
Even smarter than coining that term was that they got their lawyers to trademark that term, dirty soda.
Mitt Romney is nodding his head in approval somewhere.
And maybe getting a dividend check. Yetis, the company is Swig, and they're basically the Thomas Edison of dirty soda.
Swig has 140 locations. Sales rose 8% last year, and they're estimated to be worth $2 billion as a franchise.
Yeah, worth $2 billion because they have scaled the soda pop shop. What Starbucks did for coffee, Swig is doing for dirty soda.
And over the last 15 years, dirty soda has been drinking up market share, or throat share, as the industry actually refers to it.
And as a result, this dirty soda trend has gone from regional fun to macroeconomic force.
Here's the news. Pepsi just unveiled 3 new canned dirty sodas.
We're talking Dirty Dew, we're talking Dirty Pepsi with cherry and cream, and then, of course, a mug root beer float in a can.
Not to be outdone, McDonald's is testing Dirty Sprite at 500 locations right now.
Next, you're going to tell me Coffee Mate's doing something here, Jack.
Yes, Coffee Mate has added lime syrup, and you can just pour this thing into soda, and it's like a flavored dirty soda.
Jack, do you remember we said Chick-fil-A is launching a beverage chain soon? Like half that menu is probably going to be dirty soda, I got to imagine.
Probably. But we're pretty sure the whole country hasn't converted to Mormonism, right?
Right, yeah. So what is driving this dirty soda surge, Jack?
Well, in this economy, dirty soda is seen as a lower-priced alternative to coffee.
Yeah, your vanilla Coke with cream is cheaper than that double-digit latte pumped by, hey, Darlene, another pump.
Another reason, let's be honest, pouring cream into a glass of Coca-Cola on ice, it just kills on TikTok.
Plus, besties, 3 out of 4 Gen Zers are now trying a new beverage every single month, according to Dr. Pepper.
And their For You page says that they should try it dirty.
Our prediction, next up, they're going to start throwing protein in these dirty sodas, right, Jack?
That would be the combining of trends.
One second, Jack. All the dirty Shirley with creatine, please. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over in dirty soda?
It's a lesson from Sir Isaac Newton. Energy is neither lost nor destroyed. It's only transferred.
Yetis, funny thing happening at the same time as this dirty soda spiking. Alcohol consumption is falling.
A record low 54% of American adults say they drink alcohol. And the least likely to drink alcohol is young people.
So when Jack and I saw that stat, it seems fair to us to assume there's a causation to this reverse correlation.
The youths are basically replacing alcoholic cocktails for dirty colas.
Or another way to put it, Jack, we're still drinking liquid treats. We've just changed what we're drinking.
We still want a buzz. We're just changing what kind of buzz, from an alcoholic one to a sugary one.
Besties, Sir Isaac Newton taught us that in physics, energy is not destroyed, it is just transferred.
And it's the same with economic demand. Alcohol consumption transferred to dirty soda consumption.
For our second story, David Beckham's business empire. It pays more dividends than his soccer salary did.
The one common element in David Beckham's life that we can all learn from?
What is it, Jack?
Risk-taking.
Jack, this isn't on David Beckham's LinkedIn, but it should be. Signed with Manchester United when he was just 16 years old.
He married a Spice Girl when he was 25 and had Elton John come to their wedding.
He played in the top pro leagues of Britain, Spain, America, Italy, and France. Not possible.
And through it all, he tried out about 24 different hairstyles and even tried to make a sarong work. The only man to ever achieve that.
David Beckham's got so many tattoos, Jack, his Wi-Fi password is on his ankle.
But who would have known that his retirement from soccer in 2013 was when he would really start making money?
Let's dive in T-Boy style, Yetis, because today David Beckham has a company that manages his dozens of business ventures, highly diversified across industries.
And here's the news. The Guardian newspaper got a glimpse of those financials.
Yeah.
Profits for the David Beckham company rose 25% last year to $45 million.
Jack, I'm going to call a yellow flag here. Can you please sprinkle on some corporate context to David Beckham's money numbers here?
That is more profit in 1 year than Snap, the owner of Snapchat, has ever made.
Besties, Posh and Becks, as the Beckhams are known in the tabloids, are more profitable today than the music and soccer that made them famous.
I'm yellow carding myself right now.
But Yetis, here's what Jack and I found fascinating about this story. How is David Beckham making more money off the pitch than on the pitch?
He's not just leveraging his fame.
Yeah, David Beckham's not just in every commercial, although his brand deal roster is longer than Manchester United's, we should point out.
He's done commercials with Nespresso, Adidas, Stella Artois, Pepsi, Lay's, and like a dozen others.
Don't forget Shark Ninja. Also, of course, David Beckham has launched an eyewear brand, a kid snacks brand, a fragrance brand
that we call Ode to David. But he's really branched out with his own video studio called Studio 99,
which did his Netflix documentary and also, and this is Power and the Profits, produces the commercials that he stars in.
But his equity deal with Major League Soccer in 2007, that's considered one of the most financially unique and risky in sports history.
Okay, this deal is wild, and this just says it all. Yetis, in 2007, David Beckham took a pay cut to join Major League Soccer, the new soccer startup league in America, and he played for the Los Angeles Galaxy.
Back then, only 2% of Americans said that soccer was their favorite sport. So nobody could believe that Beckham, a superstar, was going to the States while still kind of in his prime.
But here's the key. As part of the deal, David Beckham got a financial option in his contract.
David Beckham had the option to purchase a future MLS team at a low fixed price of just $25 million.
And when Beckham retired, he exercised that $25 million option.
He bought the brand new Inter Miami MLS team for $25 million and eventually signed Lionel Messi.
The valuation of that team today, Jack, what is it?
$1.2 billion.
I can't find my cha-ching button, Jack, but I would be pressing it right now.
David Beckham is Britain's Ryan Reynolds. He's charming. He married a celebrity, and now he owns a soccer team.
But he's also England's Kim Kardashian, leveraging his fame into a dozen different brands.
And the secret to it all is risk tolerance. And that one deal we mentioned earlier captures it all.
So, Jack, to quote the Prime Minister, David Beckham's left foot, David Beckham's right foot. What's the takeaway for the business of David Beckham?
At every turn, David Beckham took the risky route.
You see, Yetis, on the pitch and in his personal life and in his business, David Beckham chose the riskier, higher rewarding option.
He's had to deal with some losses along the way. His risque lifestyle resulted in him, his wife, and his sons and daughter getting harassed constantly by the British tabloids.
But interestingly, switching teams from Madrid to Los Angeles was a short-term loss as well. A 70% pay cut while he was still in his prime.
But with all of his risks, often came huge reward. In the long term, that MLS move provided a path to equity in, basically becoming a king in the United States, owning a team.
Which became worth more than 40 times what he paid for it.
So that short-term pay cut, moving to LA, came with long-term equity. And that's a win that says it all.
The working class kid from East London didn't play it safe in any aspect of his life.
It's cost him some stress, but oh, has it rewarded him.
Hey Yetis, if you're a bestie, take a sec and hit that subscribe button.
And like this video while you're at it. If you leave a comment, by the way, we'll read it.
For our third and final story, the number one CEO factory in America isn't Harvard, isn't Stanford, and ain't MIT. It's McKinsey.
18 of the Fortune 500 companies are led by McKinsey alums. Here's how the consulting king trains you to become CEO.
Yetis, in the legendary novel The Da Vinci Code, there is a secret society full of the most accomplished people of all time.
Yeah, it's not just Da Vinci, also Sir Isaac Newton and Victor Hugo, the guy who wrote Les Mis.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years apart, all part of the same intellectual cult.
Well, Jack, the corporate version of that cult happens to be a company called McKinsey.
By the way, do you see Dan Brown just came out with a new book? Great page turner or greatest page turner?
McKinsey, one of the 3 blue chip firms that every MBA wants to work for.
Fortune magazine just revealed that no organization has produced more Fortune 500 CEOs than McKinsey has. 18 current CEOs have McKinsey on their resume.
18, Jack. Let's show off the roster here. You got Google's Sundar Pichai. You got DoorDash's Tony Xu. You got Citibank's Jane Fraser.
All of them did a few years after business school, charging companies $100,000 for a 100-page slide deck.
Okay, but Jack, I'm not even done with the starting lineup. Wait till you get this. James Gorman, the savior of Morgan Stanley. Sheryl Sandberg, Zuck's former right-hand gal, also McKinsey.
How about Pete Buttigieg and the former UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak? They all know the secret McKinsey handshake.
Because they were all paid millions to synthesize insights into robust playbooks that will leverage synergies.
Jokes aside, consultants are actually a very irreverent group, by the way. McKinsey is finishing school for CEOs, and for good reason.
Because consultants typically work 4 days a week away from home on the road. They are on site with the client for months at a time, typically.
The first thing you should do if you get a job at McKinsey is get a frequent flyer number, because you're going to do a lot of travel and you better get status fast.
So they rotate across companies, industries, geographies, and functions.
Your first project might be to go help a Brazilian telecom company. Your second project might be to fly over to Wisconsin for some metal tools company.
And even if you don't like staying at the Radisson on the road, that is a key part of the experience. But what that changing project routine really teaches you is mastering the unfamiliar.
And working in a range of industries, that exposes a McKinsey consultant to a powerful skill: pattern recognition in any business environment.
Exactly. Now, all of this happens, besties, when you're in your 20s. But that way, you build confidence that you'll use in your 30s. And then you'll get the promotions in your 40s to CEO.
Yes, AI is considered a threat to consulting. You can just ask chat what I should do for my business to turn it around.
But McKinsey has a secret sauce advantage here, and it's why they got 18 Fortune 500 CEOs. So, Jack, in one slide, can you please tell us what's the takeaway for our buddies over at McKinsey?
How do they raise great CEOs? By encouraging its youngest to spar with its oldest.
You see, Eddies, one key to good decision-making is constructive dissent. McKinsey built a culture of skeptics and contrarians when those employees are in their 20s.
Like Abe Lincoln's team of rivals, McKinsey consultants make a decision only after an intellectual brawl of ideas.
And here's the interesting part. At McKinsey, the veteran consultants, they got to defend their ideas to the younger consultants.
Young consultants are encouraged to speak up and be skeptical, even to the higher-ups.
They put ideas over hierarchy. And the result? Well, McKinsey trains to consider multiple alternatives, present the best counterargument, and most importantly, be willing to admit when you're wrong.
The other result is that it gives these 20-somethings the confidence to speak like they're already CEOs.
So Bassie's the secret CEO sauce. How does McKinsey raise CEOs? By encouraging its youngest to spar with its oldest. Jack, could you whip up the takeaways for us for the new Friday?
Dirty soda is the booming trend of food and beverage. Swig started it. Pepsi, McDonald's, and Coffee Mate are now on the bandwagon.
The dirty soda surge, as instructed by Sir Isaac Newton, alcohol consumption has shifted to dirty soda.
For our second story, David Beckham's financials leaked. He makes more money today than he did as a soccer player.
And the key to Beckham's success in soccer and life and in business is that he took the risks.
And our third and final story, McKinsey is the organization that's produced the most current Fortune 500 CEOs with 18.
McKinsey's secret CEO training sauce, encouraging the young to spar with the elders.
But besties, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
First, government shutdown, day 2, no end in sight. Both sides are trying to win the blame game right now.
Prediction markets are predicting that this shutdown will last 2 weeks. But what do they know?
750,000 workers are furloughed right now. The rest are working without pay, although they usually do get back pay once the shutdown ends.
In the meantime, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, says that the threatened government layoffs will start shortly.
And second, Amazon had its big product day with 2 big announcements in just 2 days.
First, a bunch of new Amazon Echo speaker devices and new Ring cameras and new Fire TVs, all with Alexa plus AI.
Shocker, they're sprinkling on the AI just like it's salt.
And then yesterday, we got a new low-priced grocery brand, which is basically Amazon Basics, but Amazon Grocery for bread and butter.
And finally, there is a new private jet that everyone is talking about because it's so fancy, it's windowless.
I mean, I'd like some windows.
Well, here's the deal, Jack. Instead of windows, the cabin of this private jet is filled with screens that show you what the outside looks like if you did have windows.
And like the whole wall is just the planet Earth. It's kind of cool.
It's like an IMAX airplane, basically. Now, here's the interesting detail. Without the windows, the aircraft is actually lighter, and therefore, it is more fuel efficient without the windows.
One time, I had to seat 17A on United because I'm a window guy. There was no window. It's just a big wall.
You wish you had a screen, probably, right?
I would love a screen because the screen means you don't have to like crank your neck the whole flight to look out the window.
Let me make one phone call for you. Now time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by legendary Yeti Savannah Westwood on Slack in our Pop-Biz News Club.
Jane Goodall passed away yesterday at the age of 91.
By the way, you know you have got it made when Apple sends a notification about you.
Jane studied primates, and her big breakthrough was that she was the first person to observe that chimpanzees made and used tools just like humans do.
Chimpanzees were stripping leaves off of twigs to catch termites. They were basically using a hammer or some kind of a tool that we would have used.
Before her, scientists thought that only humans use tools, but now we know that other creatures can too.
Now, Jack's wife Alex told us that Tarzan falls in love with a woman named Jane who is named after Jane Goodall.
Because Jane and Tarzan loved gorillas so much.
Okay, but Jack and I fact-checked it, and sorry, Alex, we discovered that's not actually the case.
It's a super bummer, but Tarzan was written in 1912, 20 years before Jane Goodall was even born.
So we wish that could have been the fact too, but unfortunately, it was not. Yetis, you look fantastic today. And Jack, we got a lot of submissions for your publicly traded poetry. The besties have some ideas for what you should write a poem on. You ready? So Jack, they want you to write it on Tesla or Costco. Palantir got a lot of likes.
Why all the Palantir references?
Jack, Jimmy John's, that was another one.
Oh!
And Mathnasium is another option for you to write a poem on.
Mathnasium?
Not much rhymes with that, so that may be the biggest challenge.
Ticker symbol ADD. ADD.
So yes, Jack and I got a lot of creative crafting to do on this publicly traded poetry. But in the meantime, Jack, HYHTBOY.
Have you had the best one yet?
Tell a buddy about the show. That's how we grow the pod. And Jack and I will see you tomorrow. And before we go, a happy birthday to legendary Yeti Alexa Marino from Chi-Town to San Francisco. Botox parties, they're on Alexa.
And a happy birthday to Fariel Moss in Austin, Texas, the legendary Yeti who works at Poppy and hooked us up with their co-founder.
Fariel, celebrate the birthday wins.
Happy first birthday to Archie Callahan, who's turning 1 in Northern Virginia.
Kat and Troy, you have mastered the first year. Congrats to you too. And Anna Schrader in Novato, California is the last in the squad to turn 21, celebrating in a big way.
And happy birthday to Ron Araracap in Ontario, California.
And Mateus Manhoz is turning 30 years old in Austin, Texas, celebrating though on the boats of Miami.
And happy 16th birthday to Sophia Aguiar in California.
And a happy birthday to Mike Wong celebrating down the street in San Francisco.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-boy.
Celebrate the wins.
This is Jack. I own stock of Netflix and Amazon.